All right, let's get right into the word. 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 through 7. 2 Kings chapter 4, verses 1 through 7. Let's begin reading. Now there cried a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elisha, saying, Thy servant, my husband, is dead. And thou knowest that thy servant did fear the Lord, and the creditor is come to take unto him my two sons to become bondsmen, to pay that debt back. And Elisha said unto her, What shall I do for thee? Tell me, what hast thou in thy house? She said, Thine handmaid has not anything in the house, save or except the pot of oil. Then he said, Go borrow the vessels abroad of all thy neighbors, even empty vessels, borrow not a few. And when thou art come in, thou shalt shut the door upon thee and upon thy sons, and shalt pour out into all those vessels, and thou shalt set aside that which is full. So she went from him and shut the door upon her and upon her sons, who brought the vessels to her and poured it out. And it came to pass, when the vessels were full, that she said unto her son, Bring me yet a vessel. And he said unto her, There is not a vessel more. And the oil stayed or stopped. Then she came and told the man of God, and he said, Go sell the oil and pay thy debt, and live thou and thy children of the rest. You may be seated. Today I want to talk to you a few minutes from a title, Filling Up the Empty Place. Filling up the empty place or space. Either word will work there, place or space. And I want to start off by saying you can only advance in life. You can only advance by being larger than your present place. Wherever you are right now, the only way to get somewhere else that's going to be beneficial, you have to become larger than where you are right now. Those who do not quite fill their present places are dead weight upon family, society, and government. When you don't fill your present places and do what's necessary in your life where you are now, you only become a dead weight, a burden upon family, society, and government. Everybody is responsible for their own space and their own place in life. They must be carried when they're not taking care of business in their own space. Now they got to be carried along by others at great expense. A lot of times people don't recognize that whatever you do has effect on somebody else. And we think that with the things that we do is just decisions that we've made that's only going to affect us. But whatever I do in life is going to always affect somebody else. I have to know that. The progress of the world is retarded when we don't handle our space and our place. The progress of the world now, not just family, but the progress of the world is retarded, is held back only by those who do not fill the places they're holding. And while we're going through this, I want you to think about some things that need to be filled and complete in your own life. And know that when those things are not, it brings a burden on other people. It brings problems to other people when I'm not handling my space, my place. It's like the pregnant woman with the child. As the child grows within her, After 9 months, this child fills the place within her. Is that right? And must come out of that place into more space to continue to grow, because the space is filled. As that child grows and advances in life, more space is needed within and without their own life to grow. They are growing, they're expanding. Life is all about expansion. Life is about expansion, and life is about growth. And so that's why when a person is growing as a child, you need larger size shoes. You need larger clothes. Is that right? And if you're newlyweds, you move into one house, and if you plan on having a house full of children, you're going to need more room. Is that right? And so there's always, life is always expanding, and life is always about growth. We know about the insects, the caterpillars, and they start one way and then they expand. Life is looking for expansion every single day, and if I'm not growing, I'm dying. And so in order to do this, expansion calls for more space for another place to be filled. But in order to do all of this, faith is necessary. Faith becomes very necessary, because in order for me to grow in the place and grow into more space, I got to have faith to be able to step into something and not know what it is, not without any guarantees, because we told you a week or so ago that there's no guarantees in life. Only thing we can do is plan for life. We do the best that we can. We plan the best that we can, and we're hoping for the best, but there is no guarantees. That's where faith comes in at. I have to know that with the move that I'm getting ready to make, whatever that move may be, is going to somehow benefit me in what I'm attempting to do. And so without faith, we just stay frozen. We just stay stuck where we are. And I've told you over and over again, you are a human being. You are not a tree. You are not stuck. You can move if you want to move. And so there is no guarantees. It is impossible to go further without creating a need to go further. If you don't create a need to go further, then there'll never be anything you can do possibly in your life to go any further than where you are. You have to create a need. And again, in order to create that need, I got to step into a place and in a space that's probably very unfamiliar to me. Have you ever had to step into somewhere, step into a place, step into space that was unfamiliar? You wasn't sure of the outcome, but once you made the move, you saw that that was the best move for you to make at the time. This is all concerning the faith that I got to have and I got to hold on to. I have to be willing to walk into that which is unmanifested. I have to walk into the unmanifested. That which cannot be spoken, that which cannot be thought, that which cannot be imagined. I have to be able to walk in and have enough faith to walk in things, walk in space, walk into a place of the unmanifested that I can't see nothing. I don't know what's going on, because once I recognize what the unmanifested is, I'll walk in there, and I need to know that the very things that I desire in life, they are already in the unmanifested. The unmanifested and the manifested are one and the same thing, because when I go into that which is unmanifested, there's where I'm going to find everything needed to bring the manifestation of that which I'm looking for. So I cannot be afraid to walk into the unknown, to walk into the things I cannot think about, the things I cannot see, the things I cannot imagine, because everything that you see right now all around this room came from nothing. And so until I learn how to walk back into nothingness, until I learn how to walk into the unmanifested, things again that I can't think about, things I can't see, things that I can't imagine, until I'm able to go in there, I'll never be able to bring forth the manifestation of the things that I need in my life, because what I want in my life is found in that space, that place of the unmanifested. I have to know this. So, life within every form, life within every form is going to go back to nothingness. Everything we see is going back to absolutely nothing. And that's why the space is important. Silence is important. I asked you this question before. I'm going to ask you again. What's more important, the space or the thing that's in the space? The space or the thing that's in the space? What's more important? Just like silence. Silence is responsible for sound. There can be no sound without silence. Sound is birthed out of silence. And just like sound is birthed out of silence, it's the same principle applies to space and silence. You cannot get something placed anywhere without the space. And so the space, the place is more important than the thing. If it wasn't any space to put the thing, then there wouldn't be a thing. There wouldn't be no place to put it. And so it is important to know how I need to look at my own life for us creating the space and the place that's necessary to put whatever it is that I need in my life. So space and silence is that place of the unmanifested. And I have to be able to place myself in a position to bring certain things into my life. They say that there's no place quite like the Most High than silence. This is why the scripture teaches us that we need to be still and know. Because when you're looking to find divinity, when you're looking to find the creator, when you're looking to find your own creativeness, you have to, out of necessity, go to the place where that manifestation is. The manifestation of the things that we look for is found in the silence. It's found in the stillness. When you have stillness without, you have stillness within. And in that stillness is where you find the creativity, you find the divinity, you find what's necessary to manifest the things that need to be manifested in your life. Again, the scripture says, be still and know. Know what? You need to know that everything I just mentioned is within you in the silent place, in the silent space, so you can create and bring to pass that which is unmanifested. You live in the unmanifested. The physicist has found out that mostly everything in the world, in the universe, is empty space. And what we see among ourselves is simply an illusion. But the human body is mostly empty space. And when we recognize that, we'll start doing what's necessary to keep ourselves in a place, in a space, in silence. And I'm not talking about silence all the time, but when you're looking to manifest something in your life, you've got to learn how to take 10, 15 minutes and learn how to sit and be silent, because the very things that you desire in life are within the empty space that you must learn to create in your own life. The problem with us, when I say us, I'm talking about church and just people in general, is that we desire things in our life, but we don't know how to bring them to us. We desire good things in our life, but we don't know how to bring them to us. So we have to learn how to create the space. Because remember, no two things can be in the same space at the same time. So a lot of times we got stuff crowding space that we need to get rid of. Some things need to be out of our lives so we can make space for the things that we desire to be in our lives, so we can bring it to manifestation. We have to learn how to govern our own lives and stop going by what other people have taught us. What they tell us. Pray about it. You got to have faith. But we're not talking about how to get into the unmanifested where the things that I need are there. They're right there. I hope you guys are catching this. Because what I'm attempting to do is help you to recognize the power of who you already are and the abilities that you already have within you. I told you before, now if in Matthew chapter 6, if the Most High is going to take care of the birds and everything else, nature is going to be taken care of, and animals have instinct, they know how to take care of themselves, how much more or should we be able to take care of ourselves and have the things in our lives that we desire than the birds of the field? So we have to already know that we are equipped. We were born equipped. The problem that we have is the places that we were born and the places that we were raised in the environment, because we are all a product of our environment. That's why when we get to a certain place in life, we got to start learning some things about ourselves. We have to learn some things about ourselves and the abilities that we were already birthed with. And you know, we had the relationship going on before our parents met. For the scripture reminds us that I knew you. I knew you before your mother and daddy met. I knew you before you were in the womb. I knew you. Now, how could the Creator know me before I was in the womb if I wasn't with the Creator before my mom and daddy met? So you got to recognize that you had a relationship prior to mom and dad meeting. Mom and dad came together to bring you into the earth because you had a reason to be here. A lot of people don't recognize that you're here because you wanted to be here. Out of all the, what is it, about 1 million sperm going toward an egg, you the one made it. You got to know how important you are. Out of all the other potential children that could have came, you made it. Think about that. And it was intentional because there was a plan prior to you coming. And then when you come to the planet, now you got to try to remember, why am I here? What is my purpose? You see? And it's all in you. But if you don't never put yourself in the place of the unmanifested and put yourself in a silent place, in a silent space, you cannot hear and cannot recognize why you decided to come here. I know that's new to a lot of people, but you decided to be here. If you didn't decide to be here, another sperm would have made it. And when you start recognizing these things, you recognize just who you are a little bit more, and you recognize that you were created for a reason, and the reason was already established before you came. You have to be able to talk as Yeshua taught. For this purpose, I came into the world. Until you can make that statement, then you don't even know why you're here. But at some point in our lives, we got to say, for this purpose, I came into the world. And know that. Now, there's a whole lot of things you can do, but you need to know the purpose of why you're here. Why am I here? And how can I know that? Be still and know. You cannot know if you're busy. If you're too busy. Notice the scriptures don't say, be busy and know. That's what's wrong with people right now. Their minds stay busy. Their lives stay busy. You walk in the house, most people can't appreciate silence. The reason why people can't appreciate silence is because they don't appreciate being by themselves. Some people don't like being alone by themselves. And because of that, you can never put yourself in a position, because first thing you got to do in order to live the type of life that you was put here to live, you got to love yourself. Love yourself first. You see, we try to love everybody else, but I got to love me first. Because if I'm going to love my neighbor as I love myself, that means that I got to love me, because you don't want me trying to love you if I don't love myself, because you're going to get what I feel about me when I give it to you. I hate myself. You don't want me trying to love you, because all you're going to get from me is hate, because ain't no love here. So I'll be hating on you, and you won't understand why I'm doing it, but it has everything to do with myself. That's why when certain people do certain things to you for no reason, and they tripping for no reason, you got to know that ain't your problem, that's their problem. See, people have problems, and that's what James talked about in James chapter 4. He said, where does quarrels and fights come from among you? Don't they come from within you? See, people are beating themselves up, and they get tired of fighting themselves, so they start a fight with you. Because it ain't fun to beat yourself up all the time. So now let me find somebody outside of myself so I can pick a fight with. So never allow people that got issues with themselves to come to you with their issues and you take it personal.
That's good, Bishop. Yes, sir.
It's their problem. So let them fight by themselves or find somebody else to fight with. Because I'm not here to fight with you over your problem. You need to get some help. That's the problem. Are y'all still with me? So, again, it is impossible to go further without creating a need to go further. You have to create a need to go further. You have to put yourself in a position to take risk. Now, faith is the substance. And the word faith can be also substituted risk. Now risk is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. If you're not willing to take risks, you're not going to be able to get very far. You have to be able to take risks. And of course, you take calculated risks as much as you can, but sometimes you can't even calculate what this is going to be. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I just got to feel like I need to go for it. You ever felt like you just need to go for something? You didn't really know how it was going to turn out, but because of the feeling on the inside of you, with all that divinity in you and all that creativity in you, you was being pushed to do something. It wasn't making too much sense to you mentally, but something in you was just saying, go for it. And it turned out all right. Because that's who you are. And when you understand that, then you know how to start navigating through life so you can see things like you desire to see them. Makes no sense for everybody else in the world to be making it and going places and doing big things. And ain't nobody out there doing nothing that you're not able to do. Nobody is making money that you're not capable of making. Ain't nobody out there smarter than you. And especially if they don't have no connection to the Creator, to the Most High. You just got to sit down and figure it out. And you figure it out not by thinking, but by being silent and allow the unmanifested in you to manifest the answers that's necessary for you to live like you desire to live. We running too much. We too noisy. We too busy. We need to sit down somewhere at least twice a day. Instead of eating at break time, sit down and be quiet if you're working. And get in touch with the Creator that lives in you. And make it happen. Again, if we don't think that we're capable and we are in the image and likeness of the Most High, what did the Most High do? In the beginning, did what? Did what? Created. Is that right? The Creator is the Creator. The Most High is the Creator. Is that right? Now, Scripture says that everything, when you read Genesis chapter 1, you see there that everything reproduces after its own kind. See, cows are still making cows, and chickens are still making chickens. You know, birds are still having birds, right? Everything reproduces after its own kind. But now, when the Creator got to you, he said, now this one here, we're going to make in our image, in our likeness. And I'm going to tell you who the R was one of these days. I ain't going to deal with it now. But it wasn't who we think it is. It wasn't God. Okay. But he said, we're going to make this one in our image and our likeness. A creator. You know, someone like us. Now, if everything reproduces after its own kind, then obviously when we were created and produced from the one that we have to be like. Are y'all hearing me? And so if the Creator is responsible for creating me, then I have to know that I'm a what? I'm a what? I can't be nothing else. With the ability to create the life that I desire. It ain't, you know, in the church you hear some of the craziest stuff, and one of those things is, well, you know, if God wanted me to have it, God would let me have. No. If you want it, you got to go after it. That's right. And you need to know how to go after it. That's what I'm talking about. You got to know how to create the place to bring forth the unmanifested, because when you are in the unmanifested, when you can put yourself in nothing, then you have just set yourself up to bring forth everything that's needed. I have to learn how to go back to a place of nothingness. And that's within me. Because everything in the universe is empty. And physicists has proven to us that very fact. Even we are mostly empty. There's space here for me to do what I was put on the planet to do, and I've got to stop thinking that everybody else can make it and everybody else is doing well, and I still got to scrape, and I still got to do all the things I do. I still got to worry about how I'm going to live from week to week. You got to get unstuck from that place and recognize who you are. You don't have to live like that. But it's going to take some faith. It's going to take stepping into things that's unfamiliar. It's going to take stepping into things that's not going to be guaranteed. Ain't nothing guaranteed, but when you recognize who you are and who lives on the inside of you, you can take steps into places, because even if you step in the wrong place, you have to recognize that the power that lives in you can get you out of the wrong place and in the right place, but you got to be moving. We cannot be afraid to make moves. I done said this 1,000 times this year. I cannot be afraid to make moves. And some of y'all that's been here with me for a little minute, you see it happening. All the moves I made ain't, you know, some of them didn't turn out all that great, but I moved. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. Everything that may not turn out quite like you want it to turn out, but if you'll never accomplish anything if you are afraid to move, you never will. I couldn't keep that big church we built on 25th, but I moved. And I moved by faith. And some kind of way in my faith, I was able to get my hands on $4.5 million, but then other things happened afterwards. But the point is that every time you drive by there, you know who built that. That's by making a move. And then 3 years later, nobody thought we was going to be able to buy another building. So you got to move. You got to move. Don't be concerned about the outcome. That ain't your concern. Your concern should be making a move. What move do you need to make that you are afraid to move? You can't wait to have every duck line up in a row. Ducks don't need to be in no row. You just need to move. Let the ducks move with you. See, the scripture even said in Proverbs, if you wait for perfect conditions, you will never plant your harvest. You will never go out and plant anything if you're waiting for perfect conditions. You know, the sun got to be right, and the wind got to be blowing right, and everything got to be good. Those are excuses. You can't wait for things to be perfect before you make a move. You just got to make a move and know that everything in you is waiting on you. God ain't waiting on you, or you ain't waiting on God. God's waiting on you, rather. The Creator waits on you. So what's wrong with you? You in my image and likeness. So why are you living like that? You know, why are you afraid to open up the business? What's wrong? Suppose I fail. Suppose I don't. But you'll never know, because you won't move. You won't even try. Sometimes when you make a move without no guarantees and not where you know, and not knowing what's going to happen, where you're going, soon as you make that move, you find out that everything that you needed was within making the move. I know I needed some stuff, didn't know how I was going to get it, didn't know how I was going to come, but you make the move. I don't know how many times people told me no. I had somebody come over and looked at the place we was building, and they said, no, this is I forget what kind of project they call it. What they meant was this is I think they said a busted project or something like that. It can't be salvaged, it can't be helped. It's going to be too much money. And guess what? This guy stopped working for the company. Somebody else came on board and came out and said yes. But you don't never get a yes after you get a no if you quit. See, I don't. You said no, but somebody gonna tell me yes. And that's got to be the faith. That's got to be the mindset. Somebody is going to believe in what I'm doing enough to help me get to the place where I need to go. I just have to make a move. Tell your neighbor, make a move. Come on, tell them again. Tell them, make a move. Holler at them. Hurt their ear. So filling your place is about doing all you can where you are right now. Where you are right now. This is what's needed when it comes to filling your place, filling your space. Is about doing what's necessary and all you can do where you are right now. Are you doing everything that you can do right now? Why am I even here? Because I'm tired of us. I've been tired of us for years, just being broke, not knowing how to get nothing, depending on other people to give us the things that we need for our own livelihood, working for somebody else. You're the creator. You got to get tired of that. You got to stop being afraid. We'd rather trust somebody and we'd rather get up on Monday morning and go punch a clock. Ain't nothing wrong with working. I'm just saying where we're stuck. We'd rather go punch a clock because we feel we got a guarantee that this man going to pay me. And the problem with people is we don't have enough faith and confidence in ourselves to pay ourselves. We don't believe that we're capable of taking care of ourselves, so we go out every Monday morning. Most people hate the place that they're going to work. They hate their job. They hate doing all the things that they do, working for somebody else. But we get up every morning hating it and stumbling through Monday morning. We hate getting up on Monday, going to work, but we won't do anything necessary to stop that from going on. You say you don't like it, but you keep doing it. Do that make sense? Come on, think about it. I don't like it. Who in here, I know some people love their job. Who in here don't like their job? Most people, if they're not working in what they were called to do, most people don't like their job. You don't like your job because that ain't what you're supposed to be doing. And until you start doing what you like doing and love doing and earning money, you're going to hate it for the rest of your life. The question you got to ask yourself is, how long am I going to keep doing this? That's what you got to ask yourself. How long am I going to keep doing it? Now you got to turn that hate into movement. I hate it, so I got to make a move. I may have to make a part-time move, but I got to make a move because I got some stuff I need to fill up in my life because this what I'm doing ain't happening. It ain't making it work for me. All right? So I have to do something to change because change is the only constant in the world. Change. You got to change. And you know why? You know what's difficult about change? People don't want to change. I don't want to change because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm afraid of the unknown. Anybody have a fear of the unknown? I hear what you're saying, but if I do this, I don't know what's going to happen. Well, you will not know what's going to happen unless you do what's necessary to bring about a change. You never know. So you heard of the saying, there's no place for me to go but up. See, that's what you got to ask yourself when you're changing. You know, if I'm trying to get away from this and move into something else greater, then the only thing that can happen is that I have to make a move knowing that it's going to work for me. But I got to do something. Because depending on where you are right now, there's no place for you to go but up. And when you start viewing life like that, you know, when you view life as a game, you start seeing life as a game, then you're going to play to win. See, a lot of times we don't see life properly. But when I see life like a game and there's no different than playing and working, it's all one to you. You know, I'm going to play, get up on Monday morning, I'm going to play. It's work, but I'm going to play because I enjoy what I'm doing, so it's playtime for me. Wouldn't that be nice to get up every Monday morning and go to play and go do something that you really love to do? And you can just stay there, it's time to clock out to go home, and you still playing because it's fun to you. That's how life is supposed to be. Fun. Adventurous. Day-by-day adventures. But you know that when you step out there, this is going to be a fun day. I'm enjoying this. This is what I do. For this purpose came I into the world. For this purpose came I into the world. And when you get that, then it becomes fun. It becomes play. Even though you get a check. But you're playing and getting paid. You like that? Yeah. It can happen for everybody. It can happen for anybody that wants to do what's necessary. We asked a question, and I think I saw the sister right there answer the question. But we asked the question, what's more important, the space or the thing in the space? What do you think is more important? Huh? Absolutely. you got to have a place to put the thing. And space and silence, as we talked about earlier. When you talk about existing, the word exist means to stand out. Space doesn't exist because it doesn't stand out. So space is always important, more important than the very thing that's in the space. This is why I've been talking to you about creating the space that's needed to bring forth the thing that you want to see. You have to create that space within yourself. It's there, but until you become aware and start doing what's necessary to put yourself in the place of silence. Remember, there is nothing in this world quite like the Creator than silence. So I have to learn how to still myself. Be still and know. Know what? Know whatever you want to know. The scriptures say, be still and know that I'm God, but it applies to this as well. Be still and know. Know what? What you want to know. You can't know it unless you put yourself in a place of stillness and start learning how to calm yourself down. Because the Creator lives in you. But you're too busy. If you're too busy, you can't create. Because you won't be able to bring forth the substance that's necessary from within yourself to make it happen. Just sit. Learn how to sit wherever you are. Find yourself sitting, and it's a place where it's not busy or whatever. Learn how to sit for a few minutes and just be quiet. It's a good practice to do that. Because the other thing that it'll do, it'll give you peace within. So when you have things come into your life that you can't do much with, because problems are going to come. But when you practice being peaceful and silent within, you can handle it when it show up. So you're not running around all willy-nilly trying to figure out stuff, because you position yourself over and over. Every day you find time to do what's necessary internally. So whenever anything comes to you from the external, anything comes from you from without, you've already prepared yourself. So you handle it from a place of silence, from a place of peace, from a place of calm. My mind is calm. My mind ain't running all over the place. I'm not trying to figure out every little thing because I know that once I still myself, I'll have the answer. It's like when you, remember I shared with you before how you can misplace your car keys. You sit them down. I'm sure we've all done this before. If it wasn't keys, it was something. And you set it down, and then you frantically, because see, first of all, you're late. Okay, right? You're late. You got to go now. You don't have no extra time to look for the keys. So you trying to find them. You can't find them. And then somewhere in you, something else comes up, and you go take care of that. And then you come back, and the keys was like they was right in front of your face all the time. That's something that happens to the mind when we are too focused on finding something. See, when you take the focus off, then it's like it magically appears. Stop thinking so much. Stop thinking so much. And the thing that you need in your life will show up. once you position yourself to focus on that which is silent, that which is space, and you begin to be able to put your life together the way you want it. Are y'all hearing me? There is nothing you cannot accomplish. Nothing. Whatever you want to accomplish in life, you just got to make up your mind that this is what I'm going to do. And then, yeah, there's thinking involved, but thinking comes after I've silenced myself so I can get the very thoughts that's necessary to put it together. See? And if you don't like yourself, then you have work to do. Because love begins with you first. And then once I love me, then I start loving, I can love my group. Some folk hate their own group. Hate it. And the hate comes from themselves. Okay? You have to feel what you have in order to advance for something else, to something else. And then I'm going to stop right there. I hope you got something out of that.